Yes, and one last thing is, we're kind enough to prevent soft locks in this randomizer. As we're getting started here, see these bootless and no boots. We're kind enough to prevent soft locks in that if you run out of your resource on normal for some reason, as we get 10 arrows, you are given some back if you do a save and quit, proportionate to where you are in the escape sequence.
Yeah, so if we do get one of those resource-intensive weapons, we shouldn't, like with these runners, round of 64, we shouldn't have a problem with that, but that is an option if something goes terribly awry.
I think I've actually seen it happen with the bomb escape. Someone actually ran out of bombs and had to do the save quit. And we get a hammer start. Pro?
Yeah, so we don't...
The pro to that is, of course, temper damage. Sorry for cutting you off there.
You're fine.
The con, though, is reduced range. And we don't need to grind bombs. Very nice.
Yeah, that is a really friendly first 3 chests right there. I mean, 10 arrows you can take or leave, but yeah, hammer and bombs, you're pretty much set for escape.
Yeah, should have no trouble with the guards. Or the rat. The rat I have been jokingly calling the final boss of the escape sequence because it's exclusively because of the bomb escape. Such a nimble little pest to hit with that one of those bombs. And you need to in order to get a key.
Yeah, a lot of these guards, they'll just kind of stand there and just wait for you to hammer them. That rat will move around. It's not a friendly guy.
And we get even more bombs. Hey, do you want to practice bomb escape there, runners? Maybe? No? Okay.
I mean, you have 6. That's more than enough to get through escape.
Yeah, actually it is. I had to do some quick memory checks there. Yeah, you need 1 for this guard up ahead, you need 2 for the blue guard, and then 1 more for the rat. That's just enough extra bombs, with 2 left over. And we get the sewer key, which is only called that in the inventory. It's just the Hyrule Castle key. That's used, of course, to open up the path in the Dark Crossroads room. And both runners pretty much in sync right now. Very nice movement. Synchronized guard kill? Not quite. And there's the map, so everything going forward will be an item to pick up here in the escape. I'd say you need a few more bombs than that. Maybe about, I want to say maybe 10 to 15. It also depends if you will need to do bomb strats against certain bosses.
Yeah, there was this really interesting Plando race a few months back where, like, they kind of built a seed around the idea that you only had 1 bomb in your inventory at all times. You needed that for, like, to get through Ganon's Tower. And it's, like, really interesting, like, you know, how integral bombs are to this game.
I mean, there was a seed in which they just coded out bombs completely.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about.
Like, all the bomb holes were open and you didn't ever find bombs. They were just removed from the game.
I think Christo saw when I watched his stream of that, and I think he, like, got the fire rod out of Ice Palace and he, like, tried to do the rest of the dungeon and said, oh, I can't even access anything else in here.
And yes, these sprite reworks are completely available to you on the Generation site, of course. No need to pay for them, and they're just purely cosmetic. They don't give you any sort of benefits whatsoever. Except for making it slightly harder to do bomb jumps, but if you know how to use the shadow, it's fine every time. That stays the same regardless. And there is a bomb capacity upgrade. Those are also mixed into the pool. No need to visit the Pond of Happiness. And there's that rat final boss that I like to call. Oh! Cobb needs to be careful.
Yeah, a little trouble from Cobb. Oh yeah, down to half a heart. Hopefully he doesn't run into too many more rats.
I think he's even on a quarter heart because you don't actually see those. There's a moon probe, by the way, and some more arrows. So we already have Darkhold axes, actually. There's the power glove as well. And getting some help there. Not surprised.
Yeah, really nice of the seed to give him bombs early to get that glove out of the back of his cape.
Yeah. So getting bombs was actually super important, although these bombs are just straight up given to him. So, Walls, I'm going to ask you this. Do you make a play on Darkhold immediately upon leaving Escape, or do you continue to check the rest of Light World?
I know I go to Kakariko first. Yeah, I think I do go into Dark World once I finish up the main Kakariko checks and maybe hope that I get the mirror in the hopes that I can like just kind of wrap my way over to Hype Cave and then South Shore. But yeah, they have a lot of options available to them right now.
They do indeed, and there's our map check. We have Hera as a red crystal, and I think we saw Eastern as the blue pendant. I did not catch Desert, unfortunately.
Yeah, Eastern and Desert were both pendants. I think Eastern was green.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I really couldn't tell. Hopefully our tracker will catch it. Which, by the way, shoutouts to Hollowbro, who is the tracker for this race. Doing an excellent job in his early few minutes. And I would assume that he would be doing an excellent job moving forward. Hopefully it didn't sound like any demeaning. I didn't mean to it. Anyway, piece hard at the mushroom. Nothing major. It's nice to at least see some pieces art early on, just so you can get some extra hearts.
Yeah, health and maybe an armor upgrade is it's not important, but it's nice to have, especially if you have a seed like this where it's looking like you're going to be making an early Thieves Town play.
Well, 3 hearts, and green mail. Also, nice full magic from the tree pole. Any one of those Dark World birds, the murder dactyls as we call them, that's an instant kill. Amongst other things like Ganon hugs and chain chomp bites. So murders would probably feel comfortable seeing about 14 hearts, I'd say. And yeah, it is green pendant there, and it's red pendant over desert.
Yeah, 14 hearts sounds good. I think that's the NMG count. Oh, early book.
Early book. Something I'd like to do with early book is check pedestal real quick, but I don't think we're going to see that. We've already passed by the forest.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of the way at this point, and we don't know the third pendant dungeon yet, so.
Yes. And we're seeing the well check here. Just some more arrows. Jeez. Wow, Kakariko turning up particularly dud shape so far.
Yeah, only real item of interest is that book, and that book is kind of interesting because both runners in previous races kind of like interpreted that book. Race 1, Jighart took the book into desert, found the mitts, and that kind of led him astray because there were no progression items locked behind the mitts. In race 2, Cobb found the book. He decided to dive desert. There was nothing in there. He had to come back with the boots. Nothing in there again. Had to come back with fire source to actually get the crystal. So it.
Yeah.
Yeah, desert kind of given both runners trouble in the past few races, but you know, we'll see how they interpret this seed.
Yeah, and they cannot complete desert right now because they lack a fire source, but they also may be boots locked as well. Because there is that item on a torch that you need to bonk down. Library check for Jighart. What do we got here? Just to be smart. Nothing major.
And Jighart could go ahead and blind pull the race game, which, given how little there was in Kakariko, doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, this also might be akin to the fact that we do have Dark World access so early. Probably put Kakariko low on the priority list for item placement. It looks like Jighart is going to the south here. And it looks like he is going to stay in Light Roll for the time being. I like this play because these are Sphere 1 locations. Places you can check without any sort of weapon in and out or any sort of major progression. And usually, it's a good idea to make sure that you check the majority of them as we find Kena Burna. Just in case there isn't something extra that can help you in the next sphere, which I believe in this case is Dark World, which COB is actually going straight to. Dark World check. Meyer is our last pendant, as Thieves Town is our other 5-6. So we do have a required Turtle Rock, which means the Fire Rod is required as like a swamp there. And there's Ether, found at the dam, flooded. Surprise is that coin did not freeze to the water there. And here we go, Hype Cave. Starting out with a bomb booster. And that's a 1 out of 10 for Hype Cave, unfortunately. Here's its Light World cousin, the Mini Moldarm Cave. Ooh, Jighart takes a death, though. Those Mini Moldarms are kind of hard to hit.
Yeah, mini Moldarms are kind of screwy, and the hammer hitbox can be kind of hard to deal with, so yeah, that's unfortunate, but not a huge time loss.
And that is Zora money, and Zora is in logic. Jighart is now checking their map. Giving all that information that we just got.
And to your point about items in the Light World maybe making Dark World easier, that Kena Burna could play a factor in the blind fight, because they're not looking to have a lot of hearts or even a male upgrade headed in.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. But blind or Burna strats are actually my favorite way to deal with blind, so should be a very entertaining fight. All right, Jighart opted not to go back to Mini Moldarm Cave. Instead, decided to go to Dark World. He does have a few more checks here. And we get a bottle. 2 bottles, even. And a heart container. That is actually pretty good for Mini Moldarm Cave. Stuff has been checked. Nothing of note.
Indeed, if the seed's not going to give you progression, it can at least give you safeties.
Yeah. And those bottles are actually somewhat of a logic, is a fetch quest in and of itself. We now have access to Sick Kit, of course.
Yeah, I'd expect both runners to be checking up on him once they get back to Kakariko. Assuming Jighart goes to Mini Moldarm Cave.
Goes back you. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
All right, digging game.
Oh, there's another location opened up once they get back to Kakariko, the magic bat with that magic powder.
Yes, and I was counting the mini game there, or was why I wasn't talking. 26 or 27 digs, all for a big 20. Not really worth it. I mean, he got a little bit of profit out of that while the other rupees he grabbed. And we are seeing a fake flipper from COB. Looks like his left side of the screen is just a little cropped out for us, but yeah, that's a minor detail. It shouldn't affect us too much. Big 20 on the ledge. Alright, so we should be seeing a water walk here. Jighart is now going to be getting his 2 bottles. And Lalala sequence breaks rewarded with junk, pretty much.
Yeah, nothing. Like, almost nothing.
And ledge contains something we've already been seeing quite a bit of.
Yeah, so that's good news, because when you're coming up here without flippers, this is one of the longer screens in the game, so it's nice to know that you don't have to double dip this location.
Not only is it one of the longer screens in the game, but you can't even flute out of it, so it makes it harder to get through. This is usually a save quit regardless. There's the powder for Jighart. So I think both runners are going to go Magic Bat, Sick Kid, and then to Village of Outcasts. That's the feeling I'm getting, at least from COB. And we're also seeing a big flipper from Jighart. Very nicely done. And something to note here is normally if you get hit during fake flippers, you actually soft lock your game. We fixed that by instead coding it so that you die instantly during this trick upon taking damage. Ooh, interesting. We stole Sick Kid's blanket he was using. We have now the magic cape. So 4 forms of invincibility there, and we saw the hobo item. It's just a big stack of money.
Yeah, so this seed has been pretty big on safety so far, and with that magic cave, they do have an additional location open up to them in the Dark World with the Bumper Cave.
Yeah, it's just a fetch quest chain.
Yeah.
And Jighart, by the way, getting the reverse fake flipper. Getting it so that he can leave Hobo without doing a save quit. So we're gonna get all of his flipper-based locations checked before he even has the flipper. So very smart routing there. Looks like our Magic Bat didn't have anything of importance. So it looks like it'll be onward to the Dark World for us, right?
Yep, gotta imagine. Yeah, as far as Light World locations go, it's pretty much Agina, Sahasrarla's Hut, and Eastern Palace, so I think COB's pretty much banking that there's something progressive to be found in Village of Outcasts.
And they could just make a quick detour here and check the pedestal if they so choose, while they're heading to Village of Outcasts this way. Looks like COB is just gonna go straight to the portal. And actually, looking at this pendant placement, there's actually quite a lot that Pedestal can have for us. It cannot have our mitts, cannot have our lamp, cannot have King of Samaria, cannot have our bow. But everything else is more or less on the table.
Yeah, and there's no flipper lock pendant dungeons,
Oh,
no...
did I say flute? I forgot flute. Flute cannot be there either.
Oh, right, yeah.
And yeah, of course, the medallion that you need to enter Misery Mire. First item, Skull Woods. Big 20.
Oh, nice sense from... Yeah, I think that was a death warp there. Yeah, because Cobb went in through the front door rather than taking the exit in the hole.
Smart.
Yeah. And then opting not to check the back, which I believe is could potentially have the second item, but it's also a really rough chest to get, especially with this, like, art layout.
Yeah, and also he doesn't have the fire rod, so he can't check everything in the back.
Yeah.
Makes sense to just leave the big key chest alone for the time being. At least until you have the Samaria, and then you can make it easy. All right, Sea House, what do you got for us? Eh, nothing important.
Yeah, we already went to Zora. We have all the rupees that we need.
Yeah, we even have more rupees than we need. You can now buy the big bomb. We can pay Kiki. I think Cobb will need just a little bit more money to do all of their item checks. Because I think he hasn't bought the paid 30 for the chess game, nor 80 for the digging game. So he needs about another 80 or 90 rupees.
Yeah, that is correct, yeah.
And then, of course, anything left over for potion money. Alright, we're seeing Jighart enter the Dark World here near Village of Akis as COB enters Thieves Town. Thieves Town, of course, is a 5/6, so this is an incentivized clear. It's also pretty valuable, 4 items potentially. And starting off, we have the big key. It has to be in these first 4 chests. Cannot progress to the back half without it. Second chest, actually very nice to have. It's a heart container.
Yeah, absolutely. This is kind of a rough dungeon to do with what these runners have right now. So again, any extra bit of safety for this will be super helpful. Yeah, you can be the best Linked Pass player in the world. You'd still be nervous by swordless 7-heart green mill Thieves Town.
Yep. And that's all we've got out of the front of this cave is 1 item. Or the front of Thieves Town, rather. Alright, Jighart is making the similar play, not checking the back half. Is routing over to Bumper Cave, though. This is something Cobb did not choose to do. And it's just a heart container on the Bumper Cave ledge. Jighart is contemplating whether or not picking it up. Choosing not to. I don't think it was worth it myself.
Yeah, I really want it, but I also don't want to deal with those murder birds.
Yeah, if those murder birds at his current health would two-shot him. Even if he's at full health. Alright, attic chest coming up here. Getting rid of the buzzes. Nice fairy drop. Use that to heal. There's our second item out of Thieves Town. Jighart following suit now. Oh, nope, just opening the door. Debating me a little bit there. I'm now working the way to the basement of Thieves Town. Alright, assuming we don't find any progression in Thieves Town walls, where do you think we're gonna go next? Let's theorize a bit here.
And that's a phenomenal question. We do have that book picked up, and even though Desert is a pendant, I don't trust the early book.
Hello!
Oh, we get a sword.
Sword for Cobb in the Maiden's chest.
Yeah, so that's going to make the blind fight a lot easier. You don't have to worry about, getting hammer hits in or conserving your magic. You can just follow the script.
Oh, I just realized something.
Oh, go ahead.
There's a reason why they didn't go to the back of Skullwoods. In case the fire had showed up, there was no point. They didn't have a sword to cut the curtain of vines.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, it didn't have any way to get to the back, even if that was the fire rod.
And now with the sword, I dare say that they might sequence rig up Death Mountain. Seems like a solid enough play to me. Let's see if this blind fight is going to be on script. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's off script at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, switch to the king, get the kill in, don't die. Just don't die.
Yeah. For those wondering what I'm talking about, if you can hit... Oh, there's the red cane, too. Cane of Samaria found. Very nice pick up there. All right, we have progression. But yes, if you hit blind at the first possible frame every single time, the fight is the same every single time. They'll shoot the same way, they'll move the same way. It just becomes a nice little routine. But it's an easy pattern to lose, and it can get quite hectic if you lose if you're used to the pattern and lose it. So very nice. It's called by Cobb using the blue cane as a backup to not only get back into safety, but to just finish blind off without undue risk.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to have to, come back to refight blind, especially since, when you have to refight blind, you lose that script. He starts way in the back of the wall, and the fight becomes a lot harder to manage.
Indeed. And the buzz is not playing nice with Jighart. So we have the blue cane, or the red cane rather. Where would you go with this? I mean, it doesn't look like anything on its own right now.
Yeah, this is a tough seed to try to figure out. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
I think I have an idea. If this were me, I'd finish up checking what I can in the Dark World, to my comfort zone, and I'd go back to check Desert and Eastern area, because those areas we've had access to since the start, since Kakariko. There could be progression there, and now we actually have a way of fighting with the sword.
It looks like Cobb's going to be going over to the eastern area, maybe pulling to the Hospital's hut, and maybe seeing if there's anything in Pendant Eastern Palace.
I wouldn't put it past Penn and Eastern. It's a pretty quick dungeon to dip. Alright, what's in your back closet there, Sarsaparilla? Mirror! Big 20. And a heart container. Pretty nice finds, actually. Mirror especially, because now we can go to... That just simplifies so much routing.
Yeah, you really would have liked to have had that when you were making your Dark World plays, just so you could have checked, like, the K45 and maybe even Graveyard Ledge, but in that mirror here, like, if they choose to sequence break up the Tower of Hera, they can reach there, or otherwise you can combo your Eastern Palace check with your Palace of Darkness check, which it looks like COB is doing right now.
Yeah. I would absolutely probably sequence break that mountain at this point, because with the mirror now, we can go up to Hera, which is our other 5-6, get that online, and then we can route over to Paradox Cave, which will have a bunch of items for us as well.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. That you get like a lot of items, you get a lot of progression, and if you happen to find the flute up there, you know that you never really need to look for the lamp because that was supposed to be your access point. If you find the lamp, you get a pretty good idea of where the flute might be.
Yeah. Although if you find the flute up there, lamp should probably be on your priority list, because that means the game expects you to have a fire source. And for all they know, they could lock the fire rod behind the lamp.
That is a thing that can happen. Yeah, I always forget that lamp has utility like that.
And yeah, sequence breaks are exactly what you said there. And we are actually locked out of pod. Big key found. No way to get forward. Yeah, sequence breaks are when well, the flake flippers we had earlier is the perfect example. We got a whole bunch of items checked without the flippers that you would need in order to get them. So if we had found any progression there, that would have been a sequence break until we found the flippers, which would have put the items we found back in logic. And navigating any dark rooms without the lamp is also considered a sequence break, because the game does expect you to have the lamp to see. It's very new player friendly like that. And we got a compass in desert, which means we are boots locked here in desert. So, well, there's our hook shot. Okay. Eastern was the right play to make. COB is on the right path.
Yeah, indeed. Hookshot is a pretty huge find. That can be kind of hard to locate from time to time, though without the flippers, they don't really do anything that the mirror and hammer combo weren't doing.
I mean, it's more convenient routing through the mountain.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. But in terms of like locations that are open, and we're even talking about, items that are sequence broken too.
And there's Master Sword on the Jigharts and Bombos for COB at the same time. And well, we don't have to fight Aga. Although, wait a minute, I just realized something. Have we checked what Aga's item is at Lumberjack?
I don't recall either runner making that check.
Well, if we find the lamp, then that has put him on my radar there. They of course also need the boots for that item to be in sequence, but If it's the case, then they can do that whenever.
Ooh, and Jighart choosing to mirror away from Eastern.
Oof.
Or choosing to save and quit away from Eastern, rather.
Yeah, he's gonna try to follow the mirror, which makes sense, but is gonna miss that hook shot for a little while. Which, granted, it's not necessarily required at this point. It just would lead up to more convenient routing and also a little bit of speed tech. Oh. That's huge. Those are our Titans mitts.
Yeah, COB is suddenly in really good position for this race, finding those mitts on the pyramid, whereas Jighart's taking some more out of the way location. I mean, all locations are pretty much out of the way at this point, but
Yeah, he's checking Bombus at this point, so let's see what's here at the tablet. He does have the Master Sword over Cobb, which means... Oh, wow! There's our third medallion. So we know where all three of them are, so does not matter what medallion is required for Turtle Rock, we have it. Whether or not both runners will get all three is yet to be determined, but nice to know where they all are. Cobb getting a shield from Catfish.
that's not nothing.
Yeah, it's not anything important. And it's actually not required at all. Not even the mirror shield at this point, because we do have invincibility for Laser Bridge.
Yeah, so with this routing that Cobb's on, he's going to be able to hook check Graveyard Ledge, and then he'll be able to start the Smith sequence. So this is really working out for Cobb right now.
That's right. And with the mirror, can also check Graveyard Ledge. So we'll see what's there. Jighart gonna buy some more bombs. Progression has to be somewhere. We just don't know where.
Well, evidently not a Graveyard Ledge.
We do have one more item in Skull Woods, although it's high chance that it's fire source locked. We're boots locked out of Desert. We're bow and lamp locked out of Eastern. We're bow locked out of Pod.
Yeah, I would imagine that we're going to get something from either the Smiths, maybe the Hammer Pegs or something like that.
And Death Mountain is not available just yet because we don't have access to the way up the mountain normally. We could just go through the cave, but it's dark, so that is not taken into account. And we're going to see an Aghanim check here from Cobb. Just making sure there's nothing fishy going on with the sea. And we're seeing the back of Skullwoods here on Jighart. Gonna see what the Big Key chest has. And Aghanim is now dead. You would fight him just to get the Lumberjack Cave, and all for what? Just 50 rupees.
Yeah, it's definitely not required at this point, and we're seeing Cobb making the play onto Death Mountain.
Yeah, this could be big. And it is looking to be Smith Loop for the lamp or the flute. Or maybe even flippers, because flippers would put us able to full clear swamp. And with bombos, Ice Palace is also full clearable.
Yeah, flippers out of that loop would definitely not surprise me to find your Death Mountain Nexus over in Ice Palace.
Alright, old man Gary, what do you have for us today? It's another sword, so they have access to tempered across both runners. Now, remind me again, where was the sword Jighart found?
That was in Agina's cave, and it's a question of whether Cobb is ever going to make his way to that location if he finds something that draws him to the desert area.
Yeah, that would be very interesting to see. And this is very nice routing for Cobb. Using the mirror so that they're right next to the 2-chest spot for Paradox Cave, and when they're done, they can leave.
Yeah, really nice understanding of the map layout for this game.
And,
oh yeah, shovel. Why not?
Well, do you want to dig a hole?
I mean, maybe.
Alright, Paradox Cave. 5 more chests. Okay, so far nothing too important. Hey, there's an actually useful shield.
Yeah, you'd like to have had that for the blind fight, but, you know, it might block something at some point.
Yeah, it's just nice to have for just my minor projectiles. Also helps against the shooter traps. And it looks like Cobb's gonna leave the portal behind and abandon it.
And I think he's just taking the long way around because he was having some trouble with the bomb jump.
Yeah, I'm curious why he's not just going up through Super Bunny and then mirroring up here if he's gonna check anything in the light world up here.
I think he might be taking himself, or at least like into this floating island check, but then he might be taking himself to Tower of Hera then, or just going straight to Spiral Cave.
Yeah, I can see the Spiral Cave route in.
Oh yeah, and then so this way he has all of East Side Death Mountain checked, so he can go over to Tower of Hera and then just check the Spectacle Rock Caves and Spy Cave after that without having to worry about leaving something back here. So
Yeah, I mean, what I saw for routing was Paradox, Super Bunny, Hookshot, Mirror to Hera, then double back to check Spike Cave. Or not Spike Cave, Spiral Cave. I just think that's a little bit of cleaner movement, but what do I know? I don't get sub 2 times in this game for a reason.
yeah, it's kind of interesting how like a lot of different perspectives come together with this game, and also we found flippers underneath Spectacle Rock.
All right, there's the major progression we were missing. And I guess, yeah, now that I think about it, Cobb would mirror and check Hera last so that he can do Oh, I see the routing now. He's doing all the east side, and then he's gonna go west side, do Tower Hera, check Spectacle Rock, and then go Dark World, do Spike Cave. Okay. Getting all of the Dark World done, all of the mountain done in one fell swoop. It took me a while to realize the routing there. This is why I'm on this end of the restreams and not the other end. I would
Yeah,
not be good at this racer.
Yeah, it can definitely be hard to like try to get into like someone else's mind and figure out what choices they're making.
And there's Blue Mill, and there's our silvers.
Yeah, so it didn't look like much was blocked by the mitts, which is going to be good for Jighart.
And it is Bombos to enter Turtle Rock. Cop, are you doing what I think you're doing?
I mean, it happened in the last race. So he may just be opening the portal.
I'm getting deja vu here. I think I actually commentated on one of Cobb's race before, and an early Turtle Rock play actually won their race in Swiss. I could be misremembering the person that did it though. Anyway, we're also seeing Hera on Jighart's end. Doesn't look like we found anything important thus far.
Alright, we get one small key, so we're going a little bit down the rabbit hole.
Speaking of rabbit holes, we're seeing the big chest now on Jighart's end. Hope is found.
Oh, careful, Cobb.
And careful indeed.
Ooh,
Oh, gets
yeah.
bent.
Is he gonna go back? Yeah, gonna go back. I respect that.
Yeah, he's making his the most of it.
I like that resourcefulness, bomb and burn strats, and we're gonna go a little bit deeper yet.
Yep. I think this means that we're not fire rod locked. I think we're past it. Yeah, we can go all the way to Laser Bridge.
Yeah, if we get a vanilla big key. Alright, and now we're switching to bombos. Okay. I definitely don't want to spend too much time trying to like get these guys down with the Master Sword.
Indeed. All right, what have you got here?
But even if this isn't vanilla big key, he can continue on to mimic it if he wants.
It is a small key. And getting through the Poke Room here.
Alright, so we're coming up on a kind of a moment of truth for Cobb. Was this long journey through Turtle Rock worth it? Oof. Yeah, Cobb taking a second to try to figure out what his next move should be, and I think he's probably just going to go to Tower of Hero, see what happens.
Yeah, this will get him the flippers at least. What the?
Oh, sorry, that I should not have the window open, I think. Okay, sorry about that.
And there will be the flippers for there. Meanwhile, Jighart's gonna take the super bomb then. And realizes tied and misses right there, so our runners are pretty much tied up now.
Yeah, relatively tight. It does remain to be seen when Jighart's going to make his way over to Eastern, and I think he might be forced there eventually because he's still trying to find a hook shot before he goes into Spawn Palace, and he doesn't have any way to access anything in Ice Palace without the Bombos.
Yeah, this should be fairly interesting here. Alright, looks like Cobb is going to be heading over to Tower Hera. Jighart looks to be stopping by for a potion. And there's some nice blue mail for Cobb.
So yeah, the potion is nice for safeties, but as Chad is pointing out, that could also be used to use the bottle glitch in Palace of Darkness. I think if you're spending that money on a blue potion, you're probably gonna save that for later. So we'll see what Jighart chooses to do.
Yeah, if I was gonna buy a potion, I'd buy a red potion because it's easy enough to take damage in that hallway. Because even if you kill all the jellyfish, there's a pit on the left side of where you bomb the hole open to get through. You can just open up the floor there, make a pit, fall down, take it hard so you can drink your potion. And again, this is round of 64, or best of 3, game 3. These runners might be feeling nerves here as their tournament lives are literally on the line here. They lose, they go home. So tensions might be running high.
Yeah, Cobb especially, after spending all that time in Turtle Rock and only getting 3 bombs out of it.
Yeah, that's a major time sink.
And we see Jighart initiating the blacksmith sequence, which we kind of feel has a progression item, either the Death Mountain access or something that leads to Death Mountain access.
I think it's the lamp. That gives us our mountain access, and thus it gives us our fire source. And more importantly, it gives us access to anything that's. Oh wait, what am I saying? I'm brain derping here. Sorry.
Oh no, no worries. But yeah, I would say that lamp is more likely than flute, simply because you don't need flute to complete the seed with Misery Mire being a pendant, but you always need a lamp.
Yeah, you always need a lamp regardless. You can sequence break all of the. There's lamp, by the way.
Yep, there we go.
You can. Don't take our jobs. But yes, while you can get by with the flute not being required, there are 4 Darkroom dungeons: Eastern, Pod, Mire, and Turtle Rock. Only 3 of those can ever be a pendant, so you're logically required to have at least 1 Darkroom dungeon, which means the lamp is required every single seed.
Yep, that is true. The lamp is not one of those special items that can be found in Ganis Tower. Now that sequence is restored, Jighart is going to check the shovel.
And finds the red boomerang.
No, it's sparkly, but useless.
I mean, you can check the stun prize.
You can, I guess, though it doesn't really do them a ton right now.
It's a Lunchbox World Tour here. And this looks like a Swamp Palace play from Cobb. No, gonna check the shovel, I think. And just money for that purple chest.
At least we know that Purple Chest guy is a proficient thief.
I mean, he doesn't even charge us to use his lockpicking skills.
Yeah, you know, he's a good dude, this seed.
I believe in the vanilla game, he's just someone who wants to be left alone. And you bring the purple chest, and he's like, you know my secret. If you don't tell anyone, I'll open that for you. And then you subsequently talk to him, as he says the infamous, "It's a secret to everybody," which has been hidden in the game series in some way, shape, or form throughout the entirety of its long life.
Yeah, the first text box you ever see in a Zelda game.
No. First text box you've ever seen is Zelda. First text box.
Oh wait, yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm horrible at Zelda.
First text box is "It's dangerous to go alone. Take this." Unless you actually go out of your way to skip that chest. In which, yeah, it could be a secret to everybody.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But who in their right mind would skip the wooden sword at the start of the seed? There's the lamp for Cobb. And Jighart is going to sacrifice one of his bottles to go deeper into Palace of Darkness.
Now, it kind of makes sense from his perspective. Like, for all he knows, it could be, like, he could be thinking that maybe the sequence is Bow and Swamp to get Hookshot from Bowlock Pod. But when we know that Hookshot is just sitting freely available and Eastern has been there this whole time.
Bo could still be in Swamp, though.
It could, yeah.
And this is the camera break. Scrolls that remnant off screen so that he doesn't have to kill it, which he would require the bow, and then just kills the other two, although you can scroll those off as well if you don't want to kill them. And behind... Well, we needed a key. Is it one key or two keys? Two keys. Alright, Jighart's in the arena of beetles. Getting out of there. And Cobb now has all 3 medallions. We know it's Bombos for Turtle Rock, but now that opens up the potential, if we find the flute, that there could be an item in Misery Mire. And there's half magic in a pod in the big key chest.
It's an interesting find. Not the most. It's not really a progressive item, but it's nice to have.
Yeah, it's another one of those nice safeties you can have. And combined with the magic powder, he's pretty much set this run. Alright, so first chest here now in Swamp Palace. Most people are probably thinking second chest. Why are you saying first? That first chest, that actual first chest, can only be a key, and there's the fire rod! That cannot feel good for Cobb. Because now that means that everything he's done in Turtle Rock is now available to his opponent. So now I was wondering, oh boy, this could be important. But Jighart thankfully does not have the hookshot, so doesn't even have... Oh no, he could have access to it. He doesn't need the hookshot for that one.
Yeah, he could dip into Turtle Rock if he chooses to go into Swamp House and pulls that first chest, though I would imagine that he's just going to be mirroring to Eastern after this, unless he really believes that there's nothing in that dungeon.
That would be a big mistake to make, as we now know it. And at this point, he has to feel that his next form of regression lies somewhere, and it looks... It's starting to look like it's going to be Turtle Rock. Especially after finding that mirror shield. Yeah, he's mirroring. And something else to note, Cobb has not been over to the desert area, I don't think so. Hasn't been in Agino where that Temper Sword is. Nor has he known... Does he have the knowledge that Desert is boots locked. And he's going to skip left side. He's going straight to the back. This is a fairly safe gamble to make because we have not seen map or compass yet, I don't think. So let's see here. Yeah, we're just missing the bow and the ice rod. And if it's required, the boots. But that's it. Boots are like a 1 in 22 chance.
And it's definitely a solid play to like just go straight to the back and just kill the boss, especially with the fire rod having unlocked so much for you. Like you're only looking for like 2 items at this point, so. And it wouldn't surprise me even if he does find map or compass to see him skip left side entirely, considering that he did make that turtle rock play earlier.
Well, now he has the red mail. Jighart letting out a frustration slash at the chest with the hookshot at it today. And it looks like Cobb's gambit paid off. There's only 1 item left in here, and if it's on the boss, left side doesn't need to be touched at all. And there's Bombos. Now, Jighart has all 3 medallions, does not need to worry about any requirements going forward on his end in terms of checking Mire or Turtle Rock. Although, neither runner I don't think wants to check Turtle Rock. And there's the 3rd item, just a piece of heart. Argus Fight coming up. Doing it the OG vanilla way, just grabbing a puff, doing 2 slashes, rinse and repeat until the eye is revealed. It's actually 1 slash if you got tempered, but we do not. Well, we do have logical access to it. Cobb just doesn't pick it up. The big key could be on here, or it could be on the boss. Or it could have locked itself. It could also be on left side with one of the other 2 dungeon items being in the big chest. And it's the piece of heart.
6 for 6.
Very nicely done from Cobb. Good read on the dungeon as well. Not seeing any dungeon items meant he was safe to check back without any punishment, and it paid off for him. So that'll save him some time. But now here comes the question. Where does he go next? You know what I'm thinking?
What is that?
I'm thinking Skull Woods.
Skull Woods would be smart. There is still an item left in that dungeon, and it's pretty quick to clear. But I kind of think where he's taking his routing, he might be doing Pyramid Fairy and then going into Ice Palace.
I can see that, yeah. And something to note here. Pet is almost assuredly dead at this point. We only have 1 potential item that could be there. Because we know we are boots locked. So Desert cannot have, so Pedestal cannot have boots. Bow cannot be there because of Palace, or Eastern Palace. But the Ice Rod. The Ice Rod can still be on the pedestal because the only progression check it looks for is Trinex.
And given that we haven't seen a flute yet, I wouldn't be too worried about pedestal. And you know, it's B29. Obviously, it's just on Laser Bridge.
Isn't that the truth for any of the older logics too?
Yeah, it's true. It's just it's Link to the Past Randomizer. Ice Rod's on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, and it looks like Cobb will be checking Skullwoods first, getting it out of the way. And this, I think, is a smart play because he knows he's already almost done with the dungeon. And he wants to get it done quick. And if it turns out that this 1 item is the bow, he can then do pod and then jump down to check ice later. Jighart also making the backside play. We'll get rewarded with this, as we now know. All the items are on this path. So if we find Ice Rod, Pet is dead. If we find Bo, we're in sort of a Schrodinger's go mode. We can try to go mode the remaining dungeons, and then hope Ice Rod shows up later. Or at least along the way.
Yeah, find the ice rod seeds are never fun because like it's the one item that's impossible to logic out.
Yeah, so this is going to be fairly interesting here. And if we find the flute, then that just opens up another can of worms. Because that means progression could be in Mire. Or the Mire region, which wouldn't be that bad. Gets the curtain before turning into a bunny. Just have to wait this out. Has to kill the Gibdo in this room. And you can see just how much faster the Seven Sword makes Argus. 1 slash per puff. And a nice quick kill on top of that. And now it's time for the Mafia fight. This is the thing. You might notice the male is not doing much work here. That's because the spikes are the main damage source in this fight. And Moth, being a dirty cheater, is immune to them. But it's down. And oh man, it's a single rupee, so it looks like it is Ice Palace to go to next. And that looks to be where Jighart is heading. I think Jighart just snuck into the lead here just a little bit in terms of finding the next progression item. Oh, but wait a minute. Get your hype ready, folks. It's a pedestal check. Is the ice right here? Arrow upgrade.
Arrow upgrade. I nailed it.
Yeah, you nailed it. All right. A second there, I thought I was behind.
No, yeah.
But now Pet is well and truly dead, which means the Ice Rod... Oh, the Ice Rod could still be in Mire for all we know. Alright, first Pengator room. Very nicely done. And there's our first item. It's blue, but it's not a rod, it's a boomerang. Speaking of boomerangs, there comes the red one and into Cobb's pocket. Alright, Stalfo's room. Laying the bomb there. And this game is so upcoded that if you have one stunned Stalfos, the other one is vulnerable. Which is how that double kill works. Oh yeah, the Fire Room and Hera. Did we get both items out of Hera, actually? I wasn't paying too much attention to that one.
No, I don't think we did. I remember Jighart standing outside Tower of Hera for a little bit, trying to figure out if he had that item, but yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have the lamp then, but lamp was logically required, so our Ice Rod, or in our next recent progression, could be there. If you're going left first. Gonna go ahead and check these two chests here. Or at least this one. There's Big Key. Gonna bond jump his way across. Just nice sword skating.
Yeah, really solid movement on the ice for Jighart there.
Yeah, if you can learn how to navigate the ice really well, you can save so much time. And now we see both runners in Ice Palace. Now, I saw Jighart go to freezer room first. If I have hookshot, I tend to go to the H room here first instead, and then route over. Just seems like a little bit more convenient. And in that regard, actually go in the trap room. And there's the fourth sword, so we know where all four are now. And Jighart is now fully equipped. Doesn't necessarily have the silver arrows, but in terms of passives, he's got all of the major defense upgrades equipped, as well as the major offensive upgrade. Second item found, it is just bombs. Another blue item here in Ice Palace. Can we get the one that actually matters? Can we get the ice rod?
I believe we have all three from Ice Palace, actually, because we found a boomerang in the first chest.
Yeah, we have a boomerang, we have a bomb. We haven't found the third item.
And a sword.
Right, the sword. I forgot about
Yes.
that. All right, never mind. Wow. I am
It's
on
fun.
point. I am on point today. No.
Yeah, it happens, yeah. But yeah, that sword is a lot bigger for Lalala than it is for Jighart because, you know, it's still an uncertainty whether he's ever going to be in the desert. The tempered sword from Agina, so getting this tempered sword is going to be huge.
Yeah, and I think this means that it's got to be progression on Turtle Rock or in Tower Hera that we missed. Yeah, actually, it has to be. We have checked everywhere else. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Jighart did a safe quit here, started with Hera, and then transitioned over to check all of East Steph Mountain in Dark World.
Yeah, he may make a pit stop at Skull Woods to get that crystal, but yeah, Death Mountain's going to be very close in these runners' features.
And Cobb is doing the routing I was thinking of. Going straight to those items on right side first, and then going left to Freezor. It just feels just a little bit cleaner to me, but again, I don't get sub 2 times to save my own life, so what do I know?
Yeah, there's like a lot of different approaches to route. Some people will just bomb jump all over the place. Some people will hew pretty closely to the intended path. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, with King Samari and the hookshot, you don't really need to do the bomb jump. The bomb jump only saves time if you're in go mode. So if you're doing a full clear, you might as well just, well, don't do the bomb jump and just full clear. There's Tempered Sword.
Yeah, he's going to wish that he had that earlier, but he's not going to mind seeing it.
So these racers are actually neck and neck, even though they are in 2 different locations here. Jighart is finishing up those Skull Woods here, but Cobb has done this as well as everything else, I think. Even the Smith Loop. So both runners are eventually going to meet on Hera and Turtle Rock, and Cobb actually has a minor advantage in that regard, having already halfway dipped Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. This is really impressive from Cobb, being able to keep pace even after the Turtle Rock gamble busted. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of speaks to like what Jighart was doing when he was trying to find the meds. Like he was kind of checking all these one-off locations. This is actually his third dip into Skull Woods that we're doing here, so really good routing aside from that was able to like kind of make up for that gamble.
Yeah. And someone bring it up in chat, I might as well bring it up as well. Velocity of Fight was also really well programmed in that the sword, the butter sword did the same damage as spikes did to Moth. So the sword doesn't actually work on Moth, but we've coded it differently so that the gold sword actually does temper damage, so you don't have to do pokes. It is a very much appreciated quality of life change. And we're getting a synchronized crystal capture here. Well, Cobb's a little bit further ahead in his scene than Jighart is. So yeah, it's gotta be Tower Hero or Turtle Rock. Let's see which runner decides to go where. And Cobb is... Where are you going, Cobb?
We got the mushroom at some point, didn't we?
That was in Palace of Darkness.
Okay, yeah, so...
Oh, Cobb is
He's
checking...
going to desert! Yeah.
He hasn't done desert yet. Well, he'll be the boots locked out of it eventually, but that means he will also get his gold sword. Yeah, this is practically a tide, and I didn't even notice that single arrow there on the desert ledge.
I mean, not exactly worth noticing.
Is Jighart going straight into Turtle Rock? This looks like he's going straight to Turtle Rock. He's skipping Super Bunny check as well as Hookshot Cave. Although he could just be going up here to open it first and then
yeah,
check.
he didn't. Yeah, he didn't open up the portal the first time up here because he didn't have the mitts.
I mean, it's not too much of a stretch to think he would check those locations first, then mirror, and then open the portal. But this makes a little bit more sense. It sees that it is Bombos, not that it didn't matter to him. Cobb will be out and we'll be checking Igina. So Cobb needs to go to Turtle Rock sooner rather than later.
Yeah, once he grabs the butter sword, that's pretty much going to be his only play. That and the Hera basement.
Alright, Jighart will be entering Hookshot Cave. We'll get the silver arrows. Cobb looks to be routing to Hera, and also there's a third bottle for Jighart with that green potion in it, so set for magic. Okay, this is huge. Cobb is gonna check the tire room here of Tower Hera. Jighart's gonna spend some time working their way through Eternal Rock, parts that Cobb has already cleared. This race is gonna come down to minutes, and if the bow is in here, this is actually gonna be huge. If the ice star's actually in Tower Hera, this is huge for Cobb.
Yeah, because as deep as Cobb got through Turtle Rock without the fire rod, you can get way deeper without the ice rod.
Indeed. Only to come up short if you don't find it. There could be progression in both dungeons, though. We could have the bow here in Turtle Rock, but the ice rock could be here where in Hera where Cobb is checking. And if it's the bow, then Jig might be led astray a bit. There's the big key and a big 20. And moment of truth, it's 50 rupees, so it is Turtle Rock. So Jighart's gonna have a little bit of a lead going in here, but Cobb does not need to do any checks along the way, so he'll save a bit of time just rushing to right side of the initial area and then going straight to the back half of the dungeon, starting at the big chest. Alright. I'd say Jighart has maybe 2 minutes of progression in Turtle Rock over Cobb, but Cobb is already in the first half.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see a little bit of convergence right around Mimic Cave.
Oh, there's not going to be conversion no matter what, because Jighart found the big key on right side, as we know. That means Cobb has not opened the big chest, so we're going to see it as early as that, in terms of when they meet up. Alright, so this is going to be the moment of truth here. Cobb is a little bit behind in terms of progress in Turtle Rock, but we know that Jighart is yet to do Mimic Cave. So it's literally too close to call right now, whether or not someone is ahead or not. Alright, this is where the time save is going to meet up. And it's looking like Cobb is going to skip the big chest. Is that a good idea? We're about to find out. It is!
Wow.
Cobb, what are you doing?
Oh, he must have realized that he forgot the big chest.
Oh, that would have been such a good gambit for him, though.
Ooh.
Oh. That's gonna suck if he loses the race because of that. But we'll know for sure later. There's the ice rod!
There's the ice rod, and you can see how happy Jighart is about that.
Alright.
So, neither runner's going to have the double dip Turtle Rock here. Well, neither runner's forced to leave Turtle Rock for any other reason. Cobb did a fire rodless dip.
Yeah, this is still pretty close. I mean, Jighart's only the length of that maze room ahead, so yeah, we still got a heck of a race right here, right now.
Yes, and the mushroom can't lead to anything in progression now. Because it's bow locked. There's our 4th bottle.
Okay, Boots, why not?
Boots opens up a few more checks. Did Jighart count his items? No, he did not. He does not have the small key.
Oh, Jighart may opt to open the safety door because he doesn't have... Yeah, he killed the blue potion doing the potion glitch in pod.
There's the map, so Trinex is our last item. Both runners were at the laser bridge at the same time. Jighart's at a half a heart.
He does have powder, so he just needs to lure an anti-fairy in his direction or hope that
He has no
one of them
magic.
wanders off. Oh, heck! That's right! Oh, but he did just get a fairy off of the laser bridge, so he's fine.
Yeah, he's... Yeah, he's gonna come back here and grit a fairy real quick just to heal. Cobb takes a death. I think that was intentional. There's the boots. And there's the fairy revive for Cobb. These runners are literally a minute and a half apart. This race is close, folks. Stay tuned. Here we go. Try next fight. 3 slashes is after hitting each head with the opposite elemental rod. One head extension. That's all it needs. And now 3 slashes to the snake form. Cobb isn't going back to heal. He's aware that he has the blue potion still. He's aware that he has the fairy.
Yeah, he should be fine, especially with how easy the butter sword makes this fight.
And that is a bomb booster from Trinex, which means our bow is boots locked, it looks like. So the question is, where do we go? Jighart's gonna check the tile room. Actually, wait, Jighart still has to check the tile room. Cobb's in the lead.
He also may be thinking Spy Cave. We'll see if he mirrors.
Yeah, he's gonna mirror
Yeah,
first.
he's doing tile room.
Yeah, Cobb's in the lead. Tile room is indeed a gamble, but he knows it's an item, and if it's bow, he's in go mode, but we know it's 50 rupees. Because Cobb checked it before going to Turtle Rock. So it's smart on Jighart to cover his bases, but we know this will not pay off. Alright, bonk rocks. What do we got? 3 bombs. Here comes King's Tomb. Moment of truth. Is the bow here? No, it is not. We have to go to desert.
So that book, which I believe we got in Kakariko Village about an hour and a half ago, finally coming into play.
And Jighart being particularly smart using the block there, although, yeah, you can jump down that ledge in the in the Dark World. So here we go. Now, how huge, Walsh, would it have been if our bow was right side desert and they stole the key from the back? Because that is a play you can make.
That would have really been huge, yeah, because then Ice Rider would have been your go mode. You wouldn't have had to make that extra trip up the mountain. But yeah, I understand why some people would be reticent to make that call, because how often do you get in a situation where it's like, oh yeah, boots are going to be on Laser Bridge, so I can get the bow out of here.
And it was a small key, so you could have skipped this boots requirement for the time being. And here we go. What is on the right side? Big key. The bow. There's
there
go
it
mode.
is.
That would have worked. The key stealing in desert, if you actually thought about it, that would have been a huge time save. But we have a go mode now at 136 and some change for COB Lalala. Jighart will be heading to desert and getting the bow himself in a matter of moments.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to ask if that particular sequence break ever crossed these runners' minds. I don't think... Yeah, I really want to know if that was like ever something that they were thinking about when they made the initial play.
It's a more common play if you do play Key Sanity,
Yeah.
but in this case, it would have been entirely valid and would have saved you a ton of time. Because you would have been able to full clear to get it pot out of the way. Hey, you would have been able to go mode, essentially being go mode after you got the ice rod out of roller room. But yeah, I do agree with you, Walsh. It is not something runners would think to do normally. In most cases, it's probably something they don't even think about.
But yeah, you are also right in that it was an option that was available to them, and yeah, it's a tough call either way, and I completely understand like both schools of thought.
I mean, if you have no intention of finishing desert, I don't see why not. You could have had it done as soon as you initially checked there, but I think that was Cobb's first time in desert to begin with. Nope, wait, no, both of them did double dip. And Jighart does have a full clear done thanks to his sequence break with the bottle glitch.
Unfortunately, full clear didn't really do much given that the big key was in the first chest, so yeah, we can just see Cobb just grabbed a small key and he's making his way to Helmasaur King right now.
Yep, turtle room now. Very clean. All right. 17 hammer strokes to knock the mask off. And then with one silver arrow, which does 100 damage. Or just 2 butter slashes.
Yeah,
Almost
save the
13
menu.
falls. Yeah, butter is broken for a reason. Even the most tanky boss in the game, who will not be appearing in this race, Vitreous, he's a big boy. He takes 2 shots of silver arrows. He has 128 HP.
Yeah, this game definitely knew where to place its overpowered weapons.
Yeah, the most powerful damaging weapons in the game, the silver and gold weapons, are on Pyramid Fairy, which you need to fight Vitreous and Coldseer to get in the vanilla game. Oh, also, we have all 7 crystals, so it's time for a game we like to play.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have the leaderboard, so because we're on ALTTP Randomizer, but yeah, if you want to throw a big key guess in this chat, feel free to do so, and maybe we'll recognize you. Got
Yep.
22 chests in Gan's Tower. Biggy's got to be in one of them.
Yep, and what is your guess there, Walsh?
I usually go 19.
19?
Yeah.
I want to give them a jet seed to make up for to just make this the cherry on top of this race. Let's give it to him in the Hope Room,
Yeah,
which for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, that is the first 2 chests on right side. They just go right down the stairs and they're right there. And while we were talking, Cobb got stuck by a dead rock. Oh, those things are always annoying. Kind of glad that in Link Between Worlds, you can actually destroy them with a hammer when they're turned to stone.
Yeah, that is nice. That is a good thing to have changed. But yeah, we have about a minute and a half lead, so this is something that could come down to Gan's Tower routing. It's still pretty close right now.
Gan's Tower routing, execution, getting bad luck against Moldorm, an unlucky fire bat from Ganon. That results in a fall. A lot of things can go wrong here. But we'll see here, as Cobb will be starting with the Hope Room. Chests 1 and 2. It is a heart piece and a small key, and he's going to the compass room. And now that we have seen items, you can stop guessing here in chat, folks. That's how we would normally do it if this was on Speed Gaming. Get them in quick, and your guesses are locked in when the first time is checked. We have a bug net, which is going to be nice. There's our flute.
Yeah, that was...
Hey,
yeah.
do you want to... I wonder if we can get a quick swag duck for the audience when we're done here.
I guess we can do the salutes when we call for the duck after Gan's Tower. So at least that last duck call is going to be in canon for this seed.
I guess so, yeah. In this routing, Ice Armos will for Cobb Lalala, because that's the one we're using to keep count. His routing will be the 19, 20, and 21.
Jighart, he's going to pick up time. He's not going right side.
Very nice. Let's see these behind. 8, 9, nothing good. 10, nothing good. 11, it's another small key. We are looking for the big key. 12 will be the double fire bar room. And as one runner exits, the other person enters. That is how tight a race this is. 12 has another ruby horn. Oh, don't. Okay, using boomerang strats here. Very nicely done. So both runners will find the key at roughly the same time. We know this now. Unless it happens to be tile room, in which I think COB still has an advantage. Chest 13 checked. Just another small key.
Yeah, Tau Room would be big for Cobb because Jighart would absolutely go back for those 4 chests on the right side before he checks Tau Room. But yeah, they're just like 2 rooms apart right now. This is great.
All right, random room, aptly named because no one checks this in the vanilla game. This only has arrows and bombs. 2020. Jighart.
Oh, Jighart.
All right, it's in Bob's chest. It's in Armos Knights, or it's in Tile Room. Chest 18 coming up here in just a little bit. And Jighart is bombing the random.
He's just over this seed. I feel it. I feel the frustration.
Yeah, I feel it too.
Yeah.
And those of your guess might be right. Didn't you guess like 19?
19, yeah.
Well, you have to get past Bob here.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to count any one of these ice armor chests as 19 for you, simply because it purely depends on the order opened. So if it's an ice armor room, it's close enough in your book.
All right, fair enough.
Just 19. Vanilla
Hey.
big key. Vanilla big key. That is where it is normally. And up the tower, Cobb goes. Does not have the half magic that Jighart does. That is Jighart's only advantage right now, but Cobb has the berry, has the blue potion, and it has that green potion still, I believe.
Yeah, execution is definitely going to matter going up this gauntlet. Now, obviously with silver arrows and red mail, like, execution is kind of taking care of itself, but like little mistakes like Jighart with the last ice armors, that could make a world of difference in this race right now, given how close these runners are.
A Moldern fall can make the difference. A fall to Ganon can make a difference, especially if it's on phase 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Both these runners need to be on point.
I would dare say even using that fairy to revive would cost you too much time. That's how close this race is. Because they are literally 1 room apart now as Jighart is about to ascend to the gauntlet. Cobb is now out of the first room. Now this Stalfos room, this one I use Ether in because Ether can instant kill the Stalfos, and well, it's just easier to deal with them instead of chase them around. Cobb is out of the Blue Zach room. Now is onward to the Beamos and Ice.
Oh, nice red Sasek stream out of there.
And Jighart has caught up with execution here.
Yeah, Cobb going for that health.
Jighart
has the lead. Yo!
All right, it's going to come down to execution here.
Both on the Lamo fight.
Cobb is now ahead by a mere second.
Yikes.
Jighart's now ahead by a mere 2 seconds. Oh my goodness, the lead is going back and forth, folks. Stay tuned. This race is coming down to the wire.
Yeah, Jighart made up a lot of time with his big key call, but making up even more time with a pretty clean gauntlet so far.
That's right. This is where Jighart's going to save a little bit of time as well with that. Able to use the fire rod to manipulate his magic.
Yeah, and he's not even going to need to refill, which is going to be nice for him. So Cobb managed magic good. Well, ooh, almost fell.
That's right. Jighart waited just a little bit to make sure that the secret didn't happen. Or the soft lock didn't happen here.
Oh no!
Jighart's fine.
He should no, Cobb has to make
Cobb's
this.
fine.
Okay.
Alright. Jighart getting the full heal here. Alright, this could be big. If Jighart falls to Moldorm 2 here, that's game. Doing dash strats, playing it super safe.
Yeah, I don't blame him, man. Giving him some hookshot pokes for good measure.
And down goes Moldorm 2 for Cobb. It's coming down to the geometry now with the Agate fight. Both runners not looting Moldorm's last possession. Agate 2 now for Jighart. 6 reflected orange shots. It's a nice double to start us off. That looks really good.
Oh no!
But misses! And Cobb misses the first set.
Yeah, you can really see nerves kind of start to settle in with this fight. Like, both runners have, like, we're an hour 52 into the seed. Both runners have probably been anticipating it done for, like, 15 minutes maybe. Alright, but Aga 2 down for Jighart, or, yeah.
And one more cycle left for Cobb. And with Aga 2 down, it is now time to fight the pig. Pig. Both runners are now Aga 2's down for both runners. It's time for them to fight the pig. It's Matt with Butter Sword, Silver Arrows. This is the quickest fight you can have. 6 slashes for the first 2 phases of Ganon. And then one more slash to regress phase 3, as we call it. As we see Zelda 2 text. After which, in phase 4, we need to keep the lights on. Torch Glitch may come into play here. And then we stun him once with a single slash. After which, 4 silver arrows need to be let loose from our bow. After which, the pig falls. We enter the Triforce room and call this race done.
Yeah, we saw Jighart pulling out the cape to get just 6 quick hits on Ganon for that second phase, and that's where the half magic coming into play, just making it a little bit safer. So they're both through to phase 3.
Yeah, Cobb is is 2 hits behind right now. Gets a double there.
Right, there's double, just one more.
And that's gonna do it.
Okay.
Jighart's going to take this race. As Cobb misses the torch glitch. And GG to Jighart, finishing with an official SRTV time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, 43 seconds.
Yeah, GG to Jighart, and we're about to see Lalala head back into his own Triforce room. Heck of a race.
Actually, Cobb is stuck a little bit. Has to move a little bit further down to activate the victory pose.
Huh.
Yeah, he's too close to the Triforce door, so it won't spawn. There he goes.
Okay, he got it. Okay, today I learned.
Yeah, that's something that happens sometimes. You have to be really careful when standing right up in there. And GG to COB, Lalala, 155.35. What a race, folks, to end this out. Unfortunately, this is the end of the road for COB, Lalala. But give some GGs for both these runners, especially Jighart, who will move on to the round of 32. Let us get them both in here for an interview, shall we? Are they waiting for us? Jighart is, at least. Let's get him in here, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that.
Jighart, you have no idea how close this race was. Oh my goodness, my heart is still pounding. GG's to you, though, for pulling through and winning this race.
Hey guys. Yeah, I saw the end of the race, but I had a good idea that this would be very, very close. I literally full cleared everything, so I knew I was either behind or very synced.
Yeah, you were very sync going in there. What saved you the most time was actually ignoring right side in Ganon's Tower. That puts you on the heels of COB, and then your Gauntlet execution combined with your Moldorm fight actually propels you slightly in the lead.
Yeah, execution was pretty good on this one. Sorry, go ahead.
And you managed to keep it all the way up to Ganon. COB also had an extra phase of extra cycle on Aga.
Yeah, Ganon wasn't very nice. Well, in a various, I guess. But yeah, I really wanted to skip the right side. I got the key, but I really wanted to do the usual route. No deviation. I was expecting COB to go right, so I thought if the key is there, I lost. If it's not, I'm gonna make up some time. But that paid off.
Yeah, and we're joined now in fight with like COB, Once again, very, very close race. This could have gone either way right at the end.
Yeah,
GG's to you.
Jighart, did you see the what I just sent you in Discord? We entered Wizrobe 1 at the exact same time. So
yeah, I was watching.
Completely outplayed me in GT.
I was watching the end. We had synced Landmolas. That was really, really fun to play. But I really did well in GT. Sometimes I just fall all over the place. You've seen that recently, but this time around, no, I think I was more focused than usual.
Yeah, like we were saying to Jighart, the main thing was he did not go right in Ganon's Tower, and that saved him a lot of time.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, it looks like it's a lot of time, and it was the difference of the race, but it's really only 45, 50 seconds if you execute it right, and I didn't do horrible on that.
Actually, if either one of you went full right, you probably would have been decidedly ahead. That's how close this race was.
Oh yeah, definitely with it in the vanilla location, if I went full right, for sure. But at the end of the day, judging by that Wizrobe 1 room, and I guess Jighart was saying we were on Moldorm at the same time. Basically, I had a bad Ganon fight, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah. The other thing that was a minor factor as well was your Aga 2 was just a little bit longer. Didn't get a hit in phase 1.
Yeah, that was a really tough set of patterns. At least I thought they were.
Yeah. But yeah, the entire sea got full cleared. We know where everything was. Even the half magic was at the pod big key.
Oh, so you full cleared pod. What was your go mode item?
It was a bow, the last thing I found were the boots because you double dipped through the rock, so you could go there before. But yeah, I was looking for the bow all over the place, but I did pretty much everything first.
Yeah, he potion glitched into.
He
pod.
potion glitched. Okay, I was like, but the bow was boots locked. So yeah, he had the potion glitch. Got it.
Speaking of sequence breaks, I noticed something during this race that would have been a huge play if either one of you did it. Stealing the key in desert could have been gigantic if it was done. It's not something you would normally do, I'll admit, but you could have had that bow a lot earlier.
That is true. Yeah, that's just that sequence break is just such a bad idea. I mean, it would have paid off here, but it can. If it wasn't the bow, if it was something like mitts or something like that, it can so screw you up logic-wise.
That's an opening to soft lock as well if you're really unlucky. This one I usually don't do it unless I'm really desperate, but it's very easy to get that back 20 minutes later when you can no longer progress.
Yeah, but I will agree on that. But yeah, both of you, very, very excellent race. I did notice also that Cobb did not actually spawn the Triforce store right away.
Yeah, that upset me. And, you know, I actually hit the done a little bit early because, you know, I knew it was that I was well past the time of when it should have spawned. But at the end of the day, I was on fourth stage when he hit done. So I knew I had lost. No, it wasn't the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, and I actually know why the door didn't spawn. You were actually too close to the stairs spawn to it. It doesn't try to spawn it on top of you, is what it is, and you were just a little too close.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've seen it happen before. I actually did it myself. But yes, once again, in Lalala, you've put up a very, very strong effort in this lead. This was a really good race to go out on, but your road does end here. Did you have a great time in this tournament?
Oh, I had a fabulous time. I am not even the slightest bit upset. I came into this tournament with the goal of winning 4 and my extended goal of qualifying for the brackets. I won 8 matches. And my previous opponent before Jighart was very, very skilled. And, you know, I know to myself that this could have gone either way, that I could have, advanced to the round of 32. So I've just in so many ways, as well as the tournament went on, I feel that my execution just got better and better and better. I'm so happy with how this went for me, and I don't have a single regret.
All right. And Jighart, once again, congratulations. You are moving on to the round of 32. And I'm looking here at Challenge. Your next opponent is Azazas. Are you going to be excited for that one?
Oh, excited, sure. It's great. It's way better than I ever expected to do. Confident? No. We're reaching a point where everybody is very, very, very dangerous. So we'll see. I'm gonna have fun. I'll do my best. But I think I reached the point where I know I'm probably not gonna go further. But that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, top 32 in a field of 500, and top 64 for you as well, Cobb, in that same field. You gotta feel good about that because that's the upper 20% end at 20%, 15%, somewhere around there.
For sure.
You've both proven,
But
even if you're
actually, out of 500, it's like the top 10%, pretty much.
Top 8.
But Jighart, after this tournament's over, You owe me one more race. We gotta decide this best of 5.
Sure, the grudge match. I'm all for it.
Good to see the competition is high amongst you two. But yeah, yes,
All friendly.
both of you are definitely in the higher tier, so definitely ones to watch. And you can't be mad about how you've placed overall in this tournament. You really can't. You've come a long way.
Not one bit. Not a single regret.
All right. Well, any final thoughts on the seed before we wrap things up?
I'm gonna watch
Not
the race
really.
again and notice who cursed us, because every single race recently got a commentary curse, so I'll watch for that. But it was a weird seed, but I'll just finish. My stream is no longer restreamed, but I'll remind everybody what Uncle said early on. This seed is bootless until boots. Always listen to your uncle.
I'll just say this right now. I think I cursed you because I actually wanted you guys to have a bow start, but
Wow. It's always commentators.
I was basing it on the hash though. So if anything else, the seat was cursing you from the beginning.
Fair enough.
Anyway, that's gonna do it for us here. But we have more races for you. But before I go into that, make sure to give these two a follow first and foremost. Jighart and COB, Lalala, putting on an excellent show for us today. Very good race. I got my heart pumping. I don't know about you guys. And what? Oh, you're right. Make sure to also give a follow to our tracker, or Hollow Boy. He put an excellent job in the race. Also, we had a restreamer here on the Link to Fast Randomizer. That was Data World doing a great job as well. Also, RD Waltz V, my co-com. Give him a follow. And while you're at it, we are on the Link to Fast Randomizer 1. We actually have 4 other sub-channels, Link to Fast Randomizers 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if that's not enough, we're also on Speed Gaming doing these races for you. Speed Gaming 1, and then Speed Gaming 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there's apparently also going to be a live tournament being hosted by Speed Gaming for Link to the Past Randomizer. So that'll be a fun thing to watch. But yes, on the schedule for us today, going on at... Wait, am I reading this right? Actually, I think we have a match going on right now. Gyarto versus Yagamov on Speed Gaming, the original. That's a game 3. And should be finishing up any time now. We have Unleashed Fast Randomizer Crew, Delane versus McLagging. And that's going to do it for us here. We're a little light because most of our runners are at SGDQ taking part in that charity marathon. But our next race that is scheduled is going to be tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. We do not have a restream at this time, but that will be Justin Z versus Alders. And that seems like a great race here. But we're going to call it here. So from all of us here at Link to Fast Randomizer, I have been Wolfling0370. We shall see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.